He feels like he's got 3 starters at D-tackle right now.
I agree. It is, yeah. It's fun seeing those 3 guys compete. I mean, Jalen has really elevated his game this year to put himself in position where he very easily could be a starter. I think Amir Watts is the best version of himself, and that's really complimentary to see his growth as a person and a player. Has been fun to watch in Keyshawn camp. We all see his talent. We see that flash. We see his ability to make plays. Part of it's him staying healthy so he can maintain his progress.
What does it mean that Amir is the best version of himself?
Well, he's just grown up. I mean, I'm proud of how much he's grown up in his approach to everything in school, and the way he prepares for practice, the way he works, in and out every single play. He really is, like I said, the best version of Amir that I've seen, which is fun. I mean, that's why we coach, right? To help kids grow in all aspects of their lives, and it usually shows up on the field when they do that.
What's the competition like behind Rashad and Patrick at the end for that? Because you guys need obviously a rotation.
Right. Yeah, we have to. We've got to have at least 4 DNs. There's right now you're looking at John Morgan and Deslin. Those are the next 2 guys. Deslin has really had a nice camp so far through 5 practices. It's the best I've seen him on the field. He's always worked hard to learn what he's supposed to do, but he's moving better. He's playing with more confidence. Best way to say it is he's pulling the trigger when he sees something happen, making full speed decisions. John Morgan is going through that, second fall camp growth process, but he's come a long way in the things that we need him to do, which is primarily the run game. So you feel good about putting him out there on first and second down as well. So.
Rashad said that he thought Deslin could have the kind of year that Patrick had last year. Is that sort of what you envision?
I hadn't thought of it that way, but that is a great comparison. You're seeing Deslin do things that you saw Pat do when he was starting to emerge, and a lot of that comes with confidence, and confidence often comes with repetitions. And Deslin for a while was bouncing inside and outside, if you guys remember, and he kind of locked in on outside this past spring, and he's changed his body. You can really see the fruits of his labor starting to come together.
Is Deslin the third guy?
Right now, I would say Deslin is the third guy. If I was rotating 3, Deslin would be the third, with John Morgan being the fourth.
Coach was saying this morning that he has 3 defensive tackles who could be starters.
Yes.
Same situation at corner and safety.
That's right.
And maybe at end too.
Right now, I see our 2 starters. They're pretty clear-cut starters right now at this point, fighting to see who the third guy would be rotating in, and then who maybe if the third balances up. But I see a clear set of 1s and a third and a fourth at the end with some young guys that are working their way through with Kmar and some of those other guys that are getting Haba's coming back off of being a little bit nicked up in the spring. But we got some young guys, kind of a pile of guys there that are all working. But right now you have 3 starting D tackles with 3 guys fighting for the fourth. You have our 2 starting ends and 2 guys behind that are really kind of stacked up, and then a group of guys who are fighting to get up into that group.
Is this the most depth you've seen? It's your 3rd year here now.
It is, yeah.
The most depth you've seen in your 3 years?
Definitely the most depth. Obviously we're going to miss Dwayne Hendricks and all of his reps, and Fulston, when he was healthy, was a productive guy, and Shane Roy played a lot of solid football for us, but we do have a good quality group overall that I'm excited to see them continue to push each other, which will be fun.
Is there a name that pops out to maybe be that 5th DN? You said that there's a kind of a cluster.
No, there's really not one. There's a group of them, and I want to continue to see them emerge before I anoint one of those guys with you guys.
What were some of the things you honed in on with Rashad to turn 6.5 sacks into double digit this year?
It's really he's really aware of formations. Especially when it comes to the run game, he's able to narrow it down to runs. He's zeroing in on a couple pass rush options. I think when you're young, you're trying to take everything that you're being taught, and it becomes where you're paralysis by analysis. By that I mean, if they do this, then my pass move is that. He's narrowing down what he's best at and perfecting those. If you look at the greats, one of them certainly here just obviously made a great donation. His name's right there. If you really study his film, he's really got 3 or 4 moves that he has perfected. And that's where we're trying to take Weaver's game, is to figure out what he's best at and really make those moves as good as possible, and when to use them and how to use them.
What are those moves that he's best at? Or maybe is there the one that he's the best at?
Yeah, there's a couple of them. It depends on what you're getting from the offensive tackle. I'm not going to put that out there for our opponents, but that's good. Take a look at the film.
I was curious about your freshmen, specifically DeAndre and Bryce. You getting them work inside and outside, or where do you see those guys?
I am. I'm getting them both work inside and outside. They're big guys. It's hard to imagine them. They're both in that 270 range now, walking in the door. It's hard to imagine them not being 290, 295 and ending up inside. But I am giving them them some reps here and there on the outside, but focusing more at defensive tackle for those guys. And, Bam and Nate Temple, they're doing a nice job. I think Coach mentioned Chris Maloney the other day. That's a guy I do want to make sure and mention. He's really doing a great job. That kid, at some point, I don't know when, I don't know how, but that kid is going to play football for Pitt unless something crazy happens. He is, yeah, but he's approached everything with a chip on his shoulder like a walk-on does, but also grateful for being on this football team, and I just love the way he works and the way he really helps lead too. I mean, you wouldn't know if you walked out here and didn't know. You wouldn't know, if you understand what I'm saying. I mean, just by the way he approaches and the plays that he makes.
Opposite side of the ball, what did you see out of the offensive line today? Because, I mean, obviously you got a lot of new faces there.
Yeah, you know what? It was fun because today there was a point where the defense was really ahead of the offense in practice, and there was a point where the offense came back. There was a real back and forth today in practice. As always good as I've seen since I've been back here in my going on 3 years. I think Whipple's doing a great job of having those guys continue to fight through either times where defense has an advantage or steal a chance to make a play. But I think the O-line is coming together. I really like what Bryce is doing at the guard position. Jimmy is a great player. It's good to see him back at center. We missed him those last 3 games. Nolan is doing a nice job at tackle, in my opinion. All of them. I mean, Borbs is doing a great job. You really feel the whole room developing there, and I like what they're doing with their front 5, and they're developing depth behind that.